Power to the truth. I was born in Sacramento, California. Growing up, I thought of myself in terms of self-identity as a Mexican. And when I got older, I related to myself as a Mexican American. And my dad was born in like a ranch in Chandler, which is by Tempe, Arizona. My mom was born in Sacramento. And of course they met and they settled down here in Sacramento. My ancestry, as far as I know, my grandfather was a miner in Zacatecas, Mexico. And my grandmother, López, was a nurse for the Red Cross, one of the first Red Cross they had in Mexico. My grandfather's name was Rafael Perez, or Ralph Perez. And so they met and they moved north from Mexico. And they settled down here in Sacramento. My grandmother had a dozen or so children. So I have a lot of uncles and aunts. So growing up, I considered myself a Mexican, then Mexican American, then the Chicano movement came. I identified with the concept of being a Chicano. Chicano. So some youngsters nowadays, they use Xicano. And they have their reasons, and I'm old school. So, see, white people don't have to worry about stuff like this because they know they're white. There's no question about it. Black people generally know that they're black and they use the term African American. And Chicanos are like a lost tribe. With the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, those who were left here in the U.S.A. were supposed to be automatically be given citizenship and have the rights as citizens. Of course, we know that didn't really happen. To me, what we call Aztlan, A-Z-T-L-A-N, is what is known as the U.S. Southwest. Basically, it was stolen from Mexico under threat of war by the U.S.A. And the U.S.A. has an evil history, 2 genocides, the one against African slaves and the one against Native people, who before there was an America. And white people like to, many of them are control freaks. Many people are control freaks, and we live in a control freak society. So the term American native. Before there was an America, there were some natives who were here who were indigenous, those who were here before any foreign conquests. So it gets complicated. I'm just skimming over it. So I do not identify myself as an American, though I was born in the U.S.A. in Sacramento, California, at what was then the county hospital, now is UCD Medical Center. So I think, let me see my time here, about 6 minutes. I want to keep this down to 15 minutes because I know a lot of people online have ADD or ADHD. I just want to express how where I'm at. So we need to know who we are, and I identify myself as a Chicano de Aztlan. I'm not your gung-ho, love it or leave it American patriot. And I don't have the asinine U.S.A. all the way mentality. And in many ways I am alienated from this country and its people. Most of them we know are white and racist. And ironically, they think they're superior to other people. The whole concept of race was a man-made invention. And when we stop and think, we recognize that there's really only one race on the planet, one dominant race, that is Homo sapiens, or human beings. So I'm at the point now where I also identify myself first and foremost as a humane being. Humane, H-U-M-A-N-E, being. Now, I'm not a doing, I'm a being. Now, a humane being, or a human being without the E, could be a two-legged predator. But a humane being with the E, H-U-M-A-N-E, is someone who has care and compassion for all people. And in general, I strive to stay on that humane level. And it's not always easy to be humane to people, especially when they think that they're superior to you, or they talk down to you. And it's not easy being in the U.S.A. It's not easy being who I am in these troubled times. So we need to understand that we are ultimately of one race of people. we say black, brown, yellow, white, 4, and then we break that down into nationality. So it gets complex, and with so-called Latinos, see, they generally identify with the nation of origin that the people came from. I say Cubans, they consider themselves Cubanos. And I love Cubans. I love Fidel Castro. So, we need to find our common denominators, what we have in common with each other, as the basis for unity, as the basis for solidarity. And I find that when I identify myself as a humane being, and I identify myself with other humane beings, I believe by nature we are humane, but that's got programmed out of us, being raised in a sick, twisted, racist society. Check here. So, I can relate to if someone wants to be a black person, or they are black, and then they talk about, black is beautiful, which it is. And I can see the role of the racial pride. We got to keep things in balance. Like, I just can't say I want to support black people, so I just say black, black, black. You need to have a general philosophy or a general ideology, and that can get complex too. So my basic ideology or system of thinking is based upon dialectics, a concrete analysis of concrete conditions, and then the appropriate responses to those conditions. So this gets involved. I'm just spitting this out off the top of my head, get it off my chest, and hope it don't knock over on my lamp like the last video. So, remember, we are, ultimately, we're all one. We're one people on one planet. And we are an endangered species. So we better start getting together, or we won't be here anymore. We'll become extinct. Racism is so embedded in us, it becomes as natural as breathing. So we need to know who we are and meditate on these issues. And seek unity with one another. Love one another. Help one another. And know that we're all on here together. Power to the people, power to the truth. Don't be afraid to express yourself. Use any cowardly ways you have. Be bold. Be unafraid. Seize time. Nada mais.